Well, many thanks for the opportunity to stay with all of you and to dialogue about these very interesting topics. My name is Mónica Edwards-Schachter. I'm a passionate researcher about social innovation and also living labs, hubs, and any type of societal experiment concerning social innovation. I'm working at the Valencian International Valencian University in Spain, in Valencia. And well, I think that it was challenges when I hear about the possibility to talk about co-creation, because in my mind, I'm aware that co-creation and even social innovation are sometimes considered by academy and like vast terms, umbrella terms, because we talk about co-creation and it's sometimes unclear if we are talking about co-design, co-implementation, co-production, and co-evaluation, and to what extent really co-creation process is something that is within the social innovation processes or something that is outside of this kind of innovation processes. Today I'm trying to talk about some examples from research and practice about co-creation and social innovation in the context of the higher education institutions, and about the relevance of the university and higher education institution participation and their roles in co-creation processes, and some not deep but some hot aspects of co-creation, or what I have in mind. And really the challenge to me has been that I think that across time we can see all the complexity of the rise of different kind of ecosystems and the collaboration of higher education institutions that are creating value, social, economic, environmental value through different kind of collaborations. For instance, to me, there are so many examples of university industry collaboration and university business cooperation, and within the framework of the triple and four helix and the N helix about academy, industry, government, citizens collaboration. And I think that across time, when we observe the rise of the complexity of this kind of collaborations, and to me, the principal question here that is perhaps a hot point is the certain marketization about the concept of social innovation, certain model that is omnipresent, the identification of societal needs, but sometimes social innovation is not about this. It's also about social movements, about the need to change or improve some situation, and not only to develop certain products, services, even systems or models concerning societal demand. The societal demand is the problem that face social innovation. And there are several types of social innovation. And this is, to me, perhaps is the principal hot point when we talk about co-creation. Because sometimes we talk about collaboration or co-creation as something that is easy to achieve. But it depends. Sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's very, very hard. And I think that perhaps in the context of higher education institutions, it's still very hard. And concerning the examples, I had the opportunity to participate in a very, very nice project that I think that it was in 2010, so 14 years ago, that it was an example of the kind of collaboration that is the ideal collaboration between society with the real participation of citizens. The project was called Se Vida in Spanish, See Life, and was set up in 2006 by an institute, a research institute within the Polytechnic University of Valencia, and with cooperation of the Valencian Institute for Small and Medium Enterprises. And the project was an example because really established a living lab methodology for collaboration between different kind of actors with this model of place-based local social innovation. With the structure that you can see here in the slide, with the General Assembly, with the different kind of actors from different kind of sectors. I remember that there were 9 economic sectors involved, with a lot of enterprises, with the participation of the direct participation of the local municipality, of the government agency, and the people. The development of mobile applications to identify the societal needs, especially in a context of the crisis, in these places, in a place that was, I think I didn't say the principal, that the place was a small city with around 50,000 of inhabitants. And to me was very, very, a very, very nice project that showed the relevance of the identification of needs and the participation of the people in together this research institute and the university. And the focus in this project was especially elderly and the private groups that were around the 20% of the population, and was a very successful initiative in the sense that provided a lot of different kind of solutions, accommodation, even in sport, and in contact with the firms. And the results or details about this project can be read in a paper that is was published in 2012. It was a project that showed that collaboration is possible, and that research institutions and or higher education institutions can be the leaders in the identification, in the generation of communication channels with the society and with the community. But I think that perhaps it was an exception, because in my mind I have a lot of different kind of collaborative settings or project initiatives that use the name co-creation, but really is not co-creation with all the representative of the society, or that sometimes talk about user-centered, community-centered participation, but really the participation of communities or users are very passive and they are not engaged really in the co-definition of the societal needs, in the decision-making processes that is at the starting point of innovation processes. And this was a very nice experience. And then, in the last years, I'm observing what is happening with all this complexity between the interactions of ecosystems. For instance, the efforts of connecting traditional ecosystems with social innovation ecosystems or social economy ecosystems, and the complexity concerning the higher education development and for instance, this generation of networks of universities, the rise of competitiveness. And we can see a lot of different models of universities, because we have service-oriented universities, we have entrepreneurial universities, we have universities that focus with different, their efforts are different concerning the three missions. And I think that there are a lot of different kinds of co-creation examples. For instance, here in the example of the University of Manchester, that locally established a university living lab with the objectives of consider students are co-creators, as co-creators, and connect students with firms, with other kind of actors to develop these answers to societal needs. I think that we have a lot of challenges concerning the higher education institutions, because we observe across time more and more alignment between university models, different kind of university missions, and the big policy agendas. The triple transition, social, digital, and green, this is the focus, but co-creation sometimes is very superficial. It's sometimes unclear to what extent this alignment is working in the practice arena. And to me, I'm very interested in researching. I'm starting to research the role of higher education institutions, considering the university alliances and ecosystems, university ecosystems, and the role of students and learners as co-creators within these processes. And of course, in the overall framework of the big competitiveness among higher education institutions. Because for instance, we have here the Eurotech Universities Alliance, but they talk about enabling and enhancing value co-creation, ecosystem, blah, blah, blah. But is really social innovation there? Not sure at all. Even social innovation is not explicit in a lot of different kinds of websites concerning university alliances. I think that UNILAB is another example, a very complex, is a network of living labs, networks and hubs and co-working, etc. Is even a network of different kind of ecosystems, because one of the partners is the European network of living labs, and a lot of different kind of institutions and organizations. Which is the role of universities there? To what extent really higher education institutions that are participating in this kind of urban lab that is working very focused on the transition of sustainability transitions and the three overall missions of the university, to what extent they really are co-creating value, which is the way by which they are co-creating value in this kind of very complex networks. Because they talk about, they provide examples of living labs that include citizen engagement, co-creation, design, test, and evaluation. But is really active the participation of citizens and community? Are we really talking here about social innovation? social innovation as the term is really hidden in this website. And another example, fostering outreach within European regions, transnational higher education and mobility. They talk about co-creation labs and vary with the very difference concerning labs and sectors. For instance, in cultural and creative sectors, in migration, in food science, etc., etc. Some of these labs are co-creating, but who is participating there? Are really participating all the actors of the fourth helix or not? And then again, I think that we can see in the website that social innovation is the term not explicit. So many university alliances, such as the Global Innovation Exchange in Asia and worldwide, all are talking about co-creation, and generation of value. But I think that the emphasis still is of traditional entrepreneurship and perhaps not social entrepreneurship, and with a focus in technology innovation. And here perhaps it's a consequence of the marketization of this model of social innovation that is aimed to the production of social impact. But I think that terms like empowerment of people and the traditional social ends and social means are not present in this kind of labs. Perhaps we need to reflect on the change, perhaps, on the nature of social innovation also. And so, to what extent and how citizens and communities are participating in co-creation process, in the co-identification of the problems, in the co-design of solutions, and the co-implementation, and the co-production. I know that Ostrom talks about co-production in the sense of public service, etc., but I think that perhaps we need to talk about this aspect too. And what are the universities' motivations, purposes, and roles, the opportunity to play key roles in co-creation for social innovation. And I think that, well, some ideas concerning this. Well, universities can conduct collaborative research and entrepreneurship initiatives and link it to social innovation, and offer, of course, new collaborative physical spaces. It's something simple, but how many physical spaces in the university context are places of social innovation initiatives? Higher education institutions are acting as enablers and facilitators of knowledge sharing and mutual learning between stakeholders. But they have a moral role, because they should be more active concerning responsible research and innovation, as you say, Catherine. And of course, concerning the movement, for instance, about open science. And we need to talk about all these kind of aspects together, co-creation processes. Higher education institutions should be proactive agents to blur in the boundaries of the fourth helix actors. And of course, can act as social entrepreneurs, institutional social entrepreneurs, and be proactive systemic change and agents. I'm not sure at all that the movement concerning the University Alliance are going in this direction. The principal points here concerning social innovation and co-creation is the engagement with local communities to co-create really socially responsible solutions addressing the community needs and priorities, and support co-creation projects involving all the agents of the fourth helix. And of course, I think that a key role is, and the principal role concerning the training education mission is providing social innovation competencies and capabilities at organizational and individual levels. So I think that overall, we are all aware that higher education institutions can play a central role in co-creating social innovation. However, there are still many barriers to integrate social innovation, and we need perhaps a more leading social activist role from universities and higher education institutions, starting from the point that social innovation should be more explicit and addressed in co-creation labs. And points that the question of equality and inclusion in forming partnership and the shift from passive to active role of citizens and communities, I think that are crucial. Because social innovation labs raise questions about networks, boundaries, practices, but also identity, culture, and ethics. So I think that we need a more in-depth understanding of the multi-actor processes of value co-creation within ecosystems, and in particular, I'm very interested in what is happening with university alliances, because there are problems about inclusion in these kind of networks right now. So I think that is all what I try to share as some ideas in mind concerning the state of social innovation and co-creation. Many thanks for the opportunity to talk about this. I'm sorry for my my bad English.